Good afternoon and welcome back to Football League World TV. We've got another fan debate show to align with our January series. And this afternoon we're going to be talking about Sheffield Wednesday. I've got James joining me from the Wednesday Till I Die podcast. James, how are you getting on this afternoon?
Yeah, I'm sound, mate. How about you, Alfie?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks. Looking forward to getting into some Sheffield Wednesday chat. I think it's been a while since we've had a sole focus on the Owls on the channel. You enjoying the season so far?
I won't say enjoying it. I mean, things have looking up since the Plymouth game. But if you just spoke to me last week, you probably said something totally different.
Yeah, of course. Our focus this afternoon is going to be on the transfer window, given that we're slap bang in the middle of January and we're streaming across Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. So any Sheffield Wednesday fans joining us, please do get in the comments. We want to hear from you. Give us your thoughts on the season so far and the January transfer window, you know, the first 20 days of it and how it's gone for your club. And we're just going to get straight into it from now. We were just talking briefly off air there, James, weren't we, about how this time last week we might have not had a right lot to speak about with regard to Sheffield Wednesday. But the first signing is through the door now with Jordan Storey coming in on loan from Preston North End. I guess the first place to start is, you know, what do you make of the deal?
Yeah, I mean, like what you said there, normally January transfer window is just January for a Sheffield Wednesday fan. Normally not much happens, but obviously with us being in this division in League One, we've been linked with, loads of different players. So it is good to get one through the door and in a position that we need to strengthen. Obviously, we've had lots of injuries this season, especially in defence. Iofa, Hutchinson's come back, but he's been out for a while. Shea Dunkley, he's another one who came in to fill that void, and then he's also injured for, they've said, just a while. So I don't know how long that's going to be. So yeah, definitely a centre back we're needed. Jordan Storey, he's 24 years old. I mean, he's effectively a championship player now playing in League One. He's 20 appearances so far this season in all competitions, which can only be seen as a positive. He's right-footed. Ideally, we'd probably wanted a left footer for that balance. We are lacking like left-footed centre backs. But as far as I'm concerned, he's ready to go. I mean, he's obviously out of Ryan Lowe's plans, but he did play a big part in the early part of the season. 6'2", good in the air. Obviously, only time will tell, but from the outset, it looks like a decent sign, like I said, in an area that we definitely needed some strengthening.
Yeah, I was reading some Ryan Lowe quotes earlier in the day where he gave Storey the option whether he wanted to go out on loan or not, and Storey did want to go out on loan. Are we expecting him to be straight into the Wednesday starting 11 there? You've mentioned the injuries that Darren Moore's contending with at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm a bit old-fashioned in that we've just beat Plymouth 4-2. Probably it was the best performance of the season. To put him straight in the side, it would be it'd be harsh on the three that played, Palmer, Hutchinson and Johnson. Obviously Johnson's a winger, but he's slotted in at that left centre back and played quite well. Obviously Jordan Storey's right-footed, so you'd be saying that he's going to take Palmer's place, but he's been solid all season. So I don't think he's going to go straight into the side on Saturday, obviously barring any injuries. But I suppose it's a good headache to have. Trying to put your see where players are going to fit into your side.
Yeah, and it's centre backs that Darren Moore seems to want at this sort of mid stage of the transfer window. Danny Batth was linked when he was known to be leaving Stoke, but he has since moved to Sunderland. Do you think that was a bit of a blow for Moore?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've had Danny Batth before. We know what he's like. Obviously, we got promoted. He was part of that promotion side throughout the whole. We had him on a season-long loan. I think he would have fitted in quite well. He knows the club. Fans love him, so it would have. That'd been straight in. I mean, I don't know whether we're just kind of remembering what he was like all them years ago as I don't know how old he was, 23, 24 years old back then. I don't know if I'm just saying that because we've not got him. Obviously, I'm gutted that we've not signed him. I'd probably been waxing lyrical about him if we'd have secured his services. But yeah, I think he would have probably done a job. But the fact that we've moved quickly in to bring Jordan Storey in, at least we've not, at least it's happened now and not, right at the end of the transfer window.
Yeah, and just with Bart moving to Sunderland, obviously a direct divisional rival, does that play on your mind a little bit as a supporter that he's chosen Sunderland over Sheffield Wednesday?
Well, we've played him twice now, so we're not gonna play him again. Not really, to be fair. I think if we're firing and all guns blazing, I think which we haven't done at all this season, other than Saturday. I think we played quite well. I think we should be up there. They've signed him. Can't do anything about it. We just need to keep injuries away, which obviously we failed to do throughout the most part of the season.
Yeah, I think that's the case for a lot of AFL sides up and down the country. So that's Storey in, and Danny Batth missed out on. Another centre back linked has been Hayden Roberts from Brighton. He's a player that I've heard lots of good things from. He's a good young centre back, but there's also other reports saying that Darren Moore's favouring a more experienced head, which obviously aligns with somebody like Danny Batth. Where do you sort of stand on that?
Yeah, I mean the side that played Plymouth, we talked about on our podcast, probably the oldest side that we've ever seen. There were so many players that were over 30. I mean, the back three were all over 30 years old. Obviously, it seemed to work. I don't know if that is a case that Darren Moore wants to bring experienced heads in or not. I don't think it's a bad thing bringing a young lad in. If he's hungry for it and things like that can only be seen as a positive. Obviously, Graham Potter's said that Hayden Roberts is available for going out on loan. I'm not. His age doesn't really worry me. If we bring him in, then it's just another head. Obviously, we've got a lot of games coming up. I know we've got Oxford at the weekend, then there's a week until Ipswich, but then that's the start of like 10 games in 30 days. So I think there's going to be opportunities. Whoever he brings in, there's going to be opportunities for him to play, because I think he's going to be rotating the squad somewhat throughout February.
Yeah, so Sheffield Wednesday fans, if you're joining us, get in the comments, let us know what your thoughts are on the transfer window so far. Jordan Storey has just signed. Let us know your thoughts on that signing and missing out on Danny Batth as well. Another player linked at the other end of the field, not the centre-backs, is Ryan Tulloch of West Brom. He's on Sheffield Wednesday's radar and he's said to be available for loan this month. He's worked with Darren Moore previously at West Brom and Doncaster. James, I don't know how much you know about Tulloch, but are you sort of trusting Darren Moore with this one?
Yeah, I don't know much about him at all. I mean, there's not much on him. I don't think he's made any senior appearances other than one for Doncaster, and obviously got that injury that, and then obviously terminated his loan and went back to West Brom. From what I've heard, he's got a good write up. His pacer, but West Brom have just been saying that the fans have been saying he just needs game time, which I think that's quite the same for quite a lot of players. Obviously we've already got quite a few forwards. Gregory, Windass, Canberra, Silaso. You could add Patterson to that list as well, but up until Windass has not played a great deal of games. Canberra scored a few goals, but he's been injured. Silaso, all right, he was a bit of an eye opener when people thinking why has he started on Saturday, but he did get a goal. So they are scoring, but I don't think any of them are like the kind of a full a permanent partnership for Gregory. Maybe Windass, but he's not played a great deal. So it would be good to have a bit of a different dimension, someone who is pacer that can perhaps Gregory hold the ball up and feed him in. Like I said, I don't know much about him, but obviously Darren Moore seems to like him if he's worked with him at West Brom. He's tried to bring him in at Doncaster, or did bring him in at Doncaster, and I think we have been linked with him for quite a while. I do think we do need another forward for those reasons just mentioned. I don't think we've really got a strong partnership. We need someone else to back Gregory up, really.
Yeah, over those forwards, we just had a comment in from Harry, who's a Sunderland fan. He's wanting to know what you've made of Berahino's time at Sheffield Wednesday so far.
Absolutely awful. He came on as a sub against Plymouth, and we got hammered 3-0. He didn't really do anything, but to be fair, neither did anyone. Then he played against Shrewsbury and scored in the first 10 minutes, and I thought, hey, we've got a serious player on his hands here. And since then, he's done absolutely nothing. His first touch has been awful. People who listen to me on the podcast know that I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not a fan of him at all. He's one of them people that one of the players when we signed him, we thought, obviously he's been linked with big moves early on in his career, but I just see him as lazy and not really. He's not offered anything. Darren Moore's trusted in him in terms of he's given him lots of substitute appearances, but he's just not done anything at all. So yeah, he's not one that he's not one that's I'm that proud of, to be fair.
No, and we're talking about Tulloch here as a player that's worked with Moore before, which was of course the case with Berahino, which leads me quite nicely into my next question. Really, the fact that we're talking about Wednesday trusting Darren Moore with who he wants to bring in. Are you sort of on the side of that? What do you make of Moore's sort of track record when it comes to transfers so far? Really.
Well, we brought he's brought 15 players in, 16 now with that the new loan signing yesterday. When he first brought them in, I was really excited. I mean, they were all players that have played in the division above, all probably championship quality players. When you look at the side that played against Plymouth, quite a lot of those players and most of our better players are players that was already at the club. All right, Gregory's been a great addition. Peacock Farrell, although he's made a few mistakes, I think he's better than the other two goalkeepers that we've got. I think it's always difficult. He's been shopping in the free and loan market. I don't know how much money he's been able to spend on wages either. That's been kept quite tight. So I think you have to cut him a little bit of slack in that he's not got that big of a market to shop in. On the whole, if you were to give a rating out of 10, I'd probably say a 6. In that he's brought some good names in that look good on paper, but some of them haven't quite worked out. For example, Lewis Wing, Saido Berahino. I would say Silaso, that was a bit of a flash in the pan, other than he had a good game on Saturday. George Byers has not played a great deal either. So, yeah, I think he's only had one transfer window, and obviously we're in the January transfer window now. He's had to do a bit of a overhaul of the squad, and he's brought a lot of players in, but it's just not looked as good now as what it did when we first signed him, put it that way.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday fans, if you're joining us, get yourselves in the comments. We want to hear from you, your thoughts on the January transfer window, the season as a whole, and Darren Moore's track record when it comes to transfers. So we've discussed the potential incomings and the only incoming. And of course, we've got to talk about players that have moved on or might move on. We'll kick it off with another comment from Harry. And he's quite interested to know if you're going to keep hold of Josh Windass. You've mentioned that he's not played much, but when he has played, he has scored quite a few goals, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I think he scored a goal every 47 minutes. He's come on off the bench 3 times. He scored a goal at the weekend. Fantastic goal with probably his first touch of the game. It's just about keeping him fit. He's had a long-term injury at the start of the season. He's had a bit of a niggle over recent weeks. So again, if we can keep him fit, then he's an excellent player. In terms of do you think we'll keep hold of him, I think that depends on where we're going to finish at the end of this season and what division we're in. If we fail to go up, either automatic or through the playoffs, then I think there'll be people, players sniffing around. But that also does depend on whether he stays fit himself. I think we'll keep him throughout January just because I think it'll be a bit of a risk for other teams to take a punt on him. And also, I think Darren Moore would want to keep him as well. I think he's pretty settled here. He seems to be liking it. Darren Moore seems to like him as well. Obviously, when he's fit, he does play. If he carries on his form and gets a few starts under his belt, I'm sure there'll be other clubs sniffing around it. Like I said, especially if we fail to get promoted this season.
Absolutely. And one player that has left already is Theo Corbiano. He's been recalled by Wolves. Did he get the opportunities he deserved at Hillsborough?
Well, no, he didn't. To be fair, I think, but that's not down to his fault or probably Darren Moore's either. In my personal opinion, Darren Moore's took quite a bit of flack for the fact that he's not played him. But when you look at the injuries that we've had, I mean, we started off playing a 4-2-3-1 formation, which Darren Moore's played, throughout his whole time at Doncaster as well. But then due to the injuries, we switched to a back 3 with fullbacks. With wing backs, and Theo's not a wing back, but he's been playing in that position. I think when he came, he weren't match fit either. So Darren Moore, refrained from playing him. He played in a few of the the Pizza Trophy cup matches and what have you. And he looked like a bit of a bright spot, but obviously that's against lesser opposition. No disrespect to them, but he did keep him out of the side. And when he did bring him in, he had a spell of 4 or 5 games where he did play, and he got a goal against Sunderland and an assist. He got a goal against Accrington as well, and he looked really well. But that wing back is not his position, and like I said, I think it just because of the injuries, we couldn't play him in a position that he wanted to play in. People were going mad on Twitter and social media, saying that our best players left. I think obviously it was out of our control. He wanted to be playing in a position that he wanted to play in. We couldn't do that. But look, he's gone out. Nathaniel Mendes-Lang played in that position on Saturday. He got a goal and assist as well. I know Theo scored an absolute thunderbolt as well for MK Dons, but look, he weren't our player to start off with. We only had him on loan. I don't think we can get too hung up on that. I mean, he only made 13 appearances and only 6 starts. So we just have to move on. And like I said, if Nathaniel Mendes-Lang carries on doing what he's done against Plymouth, then we'll just have forgotten about Theo in a few weeks' time.
As you mentioned there, he's moved on loan elsewhere in the division with MK Dons. Does that? I don't know whether you see it as a blow losing him, but it sort of adds salt, to the wound, doesn't it, a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing that a player wants to go to MK Dons, or MK Dons can offer him more than what Sheffield Wednesday can. It's no secret that we are a big club, and you'd like to think that players would want to play for Sheffield Wednesday. But I suppose it all comes down to the fact that we're not playing him in that position. I suppose as well, you've got to look on a positive side that Darren Moore's trusting with what he's doing the best with what he's got. Isn't just because one.
I don't know if we've just lost you there, James. Yeah, I think we've lost James there. We've had another comment in from the EFL lover who's asking James's verdict on Shadipo. We'll get that when we manage to get James back on air. Elsewhere, leaving Sheffield Wednesday this January transfer window has been Alex Hunt. He's joined Oldham on loan.
Sorry about that.
No, you're all right. You're all right. I had to just do a little bit of waffling on there. We'll move on. Alex Hunt has joined Oldham, one young player to leave. How do you think that move is going to benefit him?
Yeah, I mean, Alex Hunt, I don't think he's he's not one that fits in our side, to be perfectly honest. I don't think he's strong enough from what we've seen. He obviously went out to Grimsby. He's done well at Grimsby, although he kind of petered off a little bit during the latter the latter half of his loan deal. But what's encouraging to see is that we're kind of learning from his mistakes. Obviously, we let Liam Shaw go and Azazio Agida last season. We didn't sign him to another deal. They went off to Celtic. They looked like promising players who perhaps could have done something for us this season. Obviously, it's not worked out for him at Celtic, but that's by the by. So at least securing Alex Hunt for another year means that depending on how well this loan goes, at least we've got options in terms of we can have a recoup some money for him, or at least he's not going to go out on a free. The same with Kieran Brennan, another one who's he's penned down a slightly longer deal up until 2020, summer of 2023, I think it is. So yeah, that's always that's encouraging. That, like I said, we're not making the same mistakes twice, basically.
Yeah, we've had another comment in from the AFL lover. What's your verdict on Shadipo?
He's not played a great deal. I think he's had injuries as well. The fact that Theo Corbianu has gone back obviously gives him more of an opportunity. But Nathaniel Mendes-Lang has played in front of him, and there's no getting a goal and an assist. It looks like Shadipo's not really going to break it into the squad. I mean, I saw him in pre-season. He looked really lively. It looked like a player that would be good for us, but it's just not really worked out, which is a bit of a shame. We signed loads of wingers, and it just seems like obviously the formation probably doesn't work for him either. The fact that we play with wing backs, I don't think Shadipo is a wing back, so it's difficult that we've signed players to play in that 4-2-3-1, and then we've totally played a total different system, which doesn't appeal to most of the players that we've got, really.
No, so before we wrap up, 11 days of the transfer window left now for Sheffield Wednesday. What's your sort of ideal end to the window? Realistically, who do you want to come in? Who might move on?
Yeah, I think we need another centre back. Ideally, like I said, a left-footed one would be perfect. I know they're like gold dust, to be fair, to try and find him, but that would be ideal, because I don't think Marvin Johnson, as well as he's done, we do need a bit more cover in that area. Probably another forward, someone that's versatile as well. I know that Tulloch, he can play anywhere across the front three, so he can play out wide and he can also play through the middle. So it's clear to see that Darren Moore likes people that can play in different positions. I mean, if we can get a striker that can play at centre back as well, then that'll be perfect. That has happened in the past. But yeah, I think another 2 additions would be good. Do I think we'll get 2? I don't know. Probably, I think realistically we'll probably get one of those in, whether that's a centre back or a forward. I don't really know, but yeah, I think if we can get 2 through the door, that'll be a decent window. But what's encouraging is at least we're getting players, or looking at players in positions that we do need strengthening. He's not bringing in another centre mid, because we've got them in abundance. We don't need those players in that area.
No, absolutely, fishing in the right holes for sure. Now that concludes this afternoon's Sheffield Wednesday fan debate show. Thanks for joining me, James. I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, great stuff. Sorry about that little bit of drop out earlier on. It's the joys of live broadcasting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the first time it's happened to me, so you've brought me some bad luck there.
Cheers, mate.
No worries. There's plenty more fan debate shows coming up on Football League World TV over the rest of today and into tomorrow, so make sure you tune into them, and I'll see you again soon.